right, we're here. Welcome to Pour Over Marketing. I'm Rob Southgate, and yeah, it's a coffee morning for me for sure. What a week! Very tired. Uh, lots of things happened. So we did an experiment again today. We're going to find out if this pays off. My guess is it's not going to pay off, but it might tell us something. We did what I did was I booked Pour Over Marketing. I set it all up for the next 3 weeks. I had it all push. I shared it to my social media, and then I left it. So rather than doing a big push at the end of the week, I did it earlier in the week because I wanted to see if we get anybody. Last week, I did it at the end, and we had only one person show up. Very weird. It's the smallest it's been. Here's the other part of this that's very interesting. In fact, I'm going to try and pull it up and see if I can't. Here we go. It's got me live right now. Here's the other thing that's really interesting. When I look at the show after the fact, and I want to see what it said for last week's episode, we're getting really good views after the initial live thing. Go figure. What do I have on me? Okay. So we're getting good views, but if we don't have them in the moment, it feels like I'm speaking into a void. So let's see what it said for last week. All right. Oh boy. I wish I could show you guys. Actually, I can. Let's do it. So you're not just watching me stare at this thing. I'm going to share the screen, and we'll go with this. Here we go. There we go. All right. So what I'm looking at is my YouTube studio. And this, oops, I'm in the wrong one. Is this one I want to be in? Nope. Let's close that. Here we go. I'm in this one. Present, share screen, and must be this. No, I don't want that. It's this. I wonder why it won't show it. Oh, interesting. Cancel. Let's try it again. One last try. And if it doesn't work, then I don't get to share the thing with you guys. There we go. Interesting. Okay. So now let's look at it. So this is the inside of our YouTube channel, which if you scroll through here, I mean, you think that's a lot. This is one of 1,080 pages. So how many do we have on here? 30. 30. So that means I have uploaded between myself and our network 30,000 videos. I would hope that our number eventually goes up. This is from the Southgate Media Group one. And actually, it's been climbing a lot lately, mainly because of this, because I've been active doing Pour Over Marketing Live on here. So I am definitely seeing an uptick in followers and that. But boy, when you have 30,000 videos, actually, this is interesting. Let's talk about YouTube today a little bit. When you have 30,000 videos, you should definitely have a much higher number. The problem is we did not curate it quite right. What we did, or handle it quite right. In the beginning, we recorded a podcast, it pushed to YouTube, and the screen might look like this, or it might look like this, where it's not really designed for it. Then you look at this, and you can see that's designed, that's a YouTube design. Here's one of mine that I do now. See how that looks? Okay. You can see this artwork is designed for YouTube. Plus, I have better show notes now. Okay. We did not have, and this is in the wrong place. Let's change that. We'll do an update there too. We did not have everything set up in the right place. And you can see I still have to go in and change it. Now, these blank ones are actually from another network that was part of our network. It's the Capes and Lunatics. It's the one where I do my show, my third best Southgate. For some reason, he always was doing a great job of getting artwork on. And for some reason, as of late, I'm getting these blank ones. When I write him about it, let's see if it shows. Let's go in and look. When I wrote him about it, I wrote to Phil and I said, "Hey, man, are you doing the artwork?" He said, "Yeah, absolutely. Every single thing has artwork." There's no artwork. And look, even when I do the AI, it's coming up blank. And also, that one's in the wrong place. So it looks like I'm going to have to spend a little bit of time in the YouTube channel trying to update some of these things. Okay. But what we want to see is what we did with pour over. So I'm going to scan through. Once again, you can see the ones I've done. They kind of stick out there. Here's an interesting one. I don't know why there's two. Oh, I do. I've got something else I have to do to update. Interesting. If you've never seen the under the hood on YouTube, this is your chance. This is what it looks like. There's one of mine. This is what Phil's looked like. See, those look really nice. See, it's nice and full. It has a great image to it. For some reason, all of his stuff is coming in black, and I'll show you why that's an issue in a second. But we want to find pour over. Look at all of Phil's stuff. Looks good. You know what? It's not there. Let's see if it's under live. Live. There we go. Okay. These are upcomings. This is the one we're currently doing. These are the past ones, and it does not show. Very interesting. Let's go to this. Here's the back door on this as well. Oh, hi, Amanda. Good morning. Welcome to the show. We're talking a little bit of YouTube to get things going. You know what? And this is really, I know it looks like I'm just doing work. I'm not. I actually am doing this. This is what I have to do because of our podcast network. But really, you, creator, you, marketer, I talk about having a blog, having a podcast. You should absolutely have a YouTube channel or be part of a YouTube channel. So, like Amanda, you're one of the authors with Four Horsemen. You're part of our YouTube channel, whether you know it or not. And I post like the video we just recorded, that is up on our YouTube channel. And when you have your own, there's a lot of things you can do to grow your audience and to get more attention. So right here, in the last month, I gained another 4 followers. You can see, or 4 subscribers. You can see it right there. I had just mentioned how you see, since I've been doing pour over, my numbers kind of ticking up. Here you go. You can see right there. But I want to see. So there's our number 1 in the past 30 days. For whatever reason, this episode where they talked about Young Frankenstein on Drunk Cinema, one of our shows, did almost 2,000 views. Full stream ahead, that it says July 21st, 2023. That's when it was added, but that was recorded quite a while ago. This one, I wonder if I can crack this one open and you can see. I don't know why. This one, 8,000 views. Look at this. Look at this. It's crazy. Okay, so anyway, I can't find what I wanted to find right away here. I'm trying, I'm looking, but it's not hitting me. But when I look at pour over marketing, it usually does. Let's get rid of that. There we go. It usually does. Oh yeah, there you go. Amanda said it's probably because we just lost Terry Garr. Yeah, that might be why. Because it does have the right tags in there, so it would pull up for Young Frankenstein. It would pull up for Terry Garr, would be one of the tags we have in there. So it's probably when people were searching for podcasts about Young Frankenstein, podcasts about Terry Garr, that one pulled up. Great, that worked. That actually illustrates having keywords, having hashtags works. Are those numbers great? No. I always talk about that. I always say that these numbers are not great numbers, right? I talk about it with book sales. I talk about it with our podcasts because I know where the dividing line is when things start to really penetrate. And we can feel great about it. I'll give you an example. We had a podcaster who I always joke about this because have you ever seen the meme where the guy is um, on the Olympic stand and it shows the guy drinking the champagne. He's like, "What?" And he's drinking it, and then it pulls back, and you think, okay, he's third, and then it pulls back again, and he's like number 20. Um, yeah, I'm gonna put Olympic meme. Let's see if I pull it up. Uh, to me, that's hilarious, and that is exactly what this podcaster was like. I would post their numbers, and they would write to me like, "Oh man, I'm killing it," and I'd be like, okay, great. Like, I'm really proud of you, and I think you've done great, and I'm so happy you're so proud." Reality was their numbers were not numbers. Uh, what I mean by that is, uh, a show that we did at the same time would get about, I don't know, 2,000 listens per episode. Okay. You think that's great. That's really low. Uh, so then, but that's good. That's really good. Okay. It's a win. But I know, like, I have a friend that does 10,000 an episode. That is kind of the dividing line where advertisers get interested. Then I know somebody who does 2 million downloads an episode. That's an outlier. That's a pipe dream, right? So, oh wait, I did find one of those with the guy. Let me go back to it. So this person would be like, "Woo, I'm killing it. Like, I'm going to be number one. I'm going to overtake you," which was so funny to me because in reality, uh, they were doing, here we go. I got the meme. This is exactly what it was like with this guy. There it is. He was like, he'd get his numbers and be like, "Yes." And then if you looked at it, it was here. Uh, he was getting an average of 6 downloads per episode. So I was telling you numbers that I think that I know, like, I'm proud of 2,000, but I know that that's not an actual number that gets you anywhere. Uh, this person was like, "What? I'm killing it." And I'm like, "It's 6 downloads." But the other side of that is awesome. If that's the benchmark that they were happy with, they felt like they were getting heard and they were getting reached. Man, rocket. I remember when we did our first podcast, Maeve and I did our first podcast. We figured out how to get it on the internet. We had no idea. Like, we recorded and went, how do we get this SD card into the internet for people to hear it? Figured it out that night, posted the thing. At the end of the week, we had 100, or no, I'm sorry. At the end of the month, we had 100 downloads. We went out for pizza that night. We were celebrating. So I guess the bottom line there is uh, this person for years was celebrating 6 because to them that was a big accomplishment. That's how I felt too, right? But then later, it's not that I became jaded. It's just I knew that that is that's a benchmark that worked for me. But if I'm trying to break in and be more successful, be higher up in the food chain of podcasters, of authors, of artists, it's got to go up. So when I'm looking at that YouTube channel that I just had up here, and we figured out that my channel, Southgate Media Group, has over 30,000 videos on it. That is a hell of a lot, right? But there's only 500 subscribers. That's not a number. That's not a number. You have to be over 1,000 even to be able to get, paid for advertising. At 1,000 viewers, you're going to make pennies a month off of all your efforts. Well, when you've got 30,000 videos on there, if you're not making at least something, there's something wrong. I know exactly what's wrong. And I've gone back and fixed some of it, and I've never put the attention on it that I should. But the shows that matter in the moment are getting the attention, and that's why the numbers are climbing up. The shows where I interview authors, the shows where I interview artists and creatives, the shows where Molly is interviewing authors on her show on Read Between the Lines. I am putting that extra attention on those. The shows coming from Capes and Lunatics, I am letting them post. It's giving them extra exposure, but their numbers are not climbing in my network, mainly because I need to put the efforts into our shows right now. Okay. Now I said all that, I sound like a jerk, like I'm not helping them. I'm totally helping them. And in fact, when I was writing with Phil this week, I noticed this. I wrote to him and I said, okay, I need to know this. He said, well, I do have artwork. I said, okay, I need you to either send it to me or I'm going to have to pull it from somewhere, which is going to be more effort for me. But I want to get all of his episodes updated. And in fact, let's show you. I'll show you the difference. I'll show you why I'm saying this. Now, you as a creator, you start a YouTube channel, okay? In your YouTube channel, you can do full videos. Let's go back to you being an author. I was mentioning the authors this week, like start a podcast. Well, make it a video podcast, record them on Zoom. And even if it's pretty much unedited, that's fine. Put it on your YouTube channel so that people can see what you got going. Let me see if I can show the homepage easily. View your channel. Here we go. Okay. This will demonstrate it pretty dang well. Let's see here. Share stream. Okay. Boom. There it is. That's our YouTube channel. 541 subscribers, 9,000 videos. I thought 30,000. My math was screwed up. Still 9,000. I've got the about section. I've got links to places. I've even got our shop in there. Guess what I'm finding out is looking at this. This all has to be updated. Right now, right here, this is you guys. Amanda, this is you, one watching. Or maybe it's my mom. It's one of you. Oh, we'll get to that, Amanda. We're going to talk about this. Okay. So then we get down here. This is why Phil is the guy with Capes and Lunatics. I need to get his artwork going because look, who's going to click on this? Would you click on that? You read this name, it doesn't mean much. Then you get this, and it's like, oh, it's Kickstarter. It's got some weird moose thing. What is this? Oh, it's the GoFundMe podcast. Or GoFund this. And then we're back to nothing. Then we got this. Oh, it's Alley Chats. Look, there's an author. This looks like it's horror. It's an interview. It's got their name. This one doesn't fill the screen. They need to update and have it fill the screen. Now, if we look down here, you can see why. Look at Alley Chats. They're uniform. They're colorful. They tell you what it is. Read between the lines. So take this one here, the Superman one, where it's blank. This one technically would be the same thing, but I found an image to put behind it. So when I make the artwork, it's got this artwork in the middle, and this is the backdrop. It fills it in. It looks great. Four Horsemen author right there. These were how it used to look for GoFund This. So Amanda, when I was just saying, you were saying, what do I sit here and talk about? This is also part of it. Like, do I have to create artwork? Do I have to do all this? No. When you upload to YouTube, it'll give you a couple of different options. And in fact, one of them now is an AI option. And what that does, it doesn't mean it creates something. It means it pulls a moment of the video that looks good and it becomes one of these. And that would work. That'll work. Down here, I didn't have it right. I'm going to have to go back and fix those. Here, I have it right. Those look good. These look good. And then you get to Phil's. Now watch this. Let's see if we can go to his page. At some point, they're all black. But then look. Now I'm going to scroll down. When it isn't all black, look how much more attractive and how much more inviting this is. And it tells you exactly what it is. These are all different shows. under his umbrella. Okay. Okay. Enough about that. Let's answer some questions, Amanda. Let's remove that. So you said, what do I sit there and talk about though? If I'm telling you to do this, right? Um, oh, wait, we're going to do this. I have a friend who does graphics and editing. Take a look at the Tabletop Misfits. Is that a podcast or is that a YouTube show? It is. Oh, yes. Right. Oh, they have a sizzle reel. Oh, this is something I need to add to ours. We used to have a sizzle reel and I stopped. But look at this. They've done a great job. They've done a great job. I would mix it up a little bit personally, but like because this looks like the same thing over and over. But you know what? That's just me. That's when you get into marketing. What does a marketer do with different things? These are actually fantastic. I think their page looks great. In fact, I'm gonna check them out. It's this, where it's just kind of like it has a name up here. That doesn't do it for me as much as this, where we've got a little face. I love that. Love that. Okay. And looky. Hold on. That's you, Amanda. All right. Let me put that in here. I have to stop sharing in order to get in here so I can post it. So there you go, everybody. You can watch Amanda's interview on this show. I love this. Oh man, I'm going to totally watch this, Amanda. Um, okay, so I'm going to pause that too. Love it. So that's where that makes sense. Okay, let's go back to that other question. Don't you say, "Oh no, LOL." That's why you do this. So people see you and get exposed to you. And in fact, I love that you did it on this show because you're reaching their audience. And now they're aware of you. Let's look at Tabletop Misfits. I bet they have a pretty good audience on here, right? Definitely more than I have. They have. See, this is why I say mine is way off. They have 1,000 videos. Oh my gosh, I keep closing it. Oh, it's because of the posting. That's why. They have 1,000 videos and they have almost 4,000 subscribers. That's right. I'm the guy at the bottom of the thing with the champagne, thinking my stuff's great. No, actually, I'm not with the champagne, but I'm that guy way down here. This is more towards the top. Uh, I got to do something to fix all that. But see, they did a great job. They got their bio in here. They got all their links. They have their Patreon on here. They've got a sizzle reel, which is showing us black right now, but we already know that it's not. We already watched it. They've got the logo. I mean, this is really great. Okay. Um, okay. Back to Amanda's question. What do I sit there and talk about, though? Okay, Amanda. So we're going to do this specifically for you and anybody else watching, because I know there's some watching right now. There's going to be people that are watching later. Okay. Uh, apply this to you. Okay. I don't care what your business is. We talk about having a newsletter, having a blog, having a podcast. You don't have to have all of them, but they actually can all fit together. In fact, if you do a video blog, you can take this show. And in fact, I'm about to do this with this show. You can run it through something like Descript. There are other places, YouTube has it, whatever. You make your video, pop it into Script, you get a transcript of the show. Pick a part out of it. If you like, this is too long. There's too much for me to put in there, but there'll be a chunk where I tell like advice about this, like what I'm doing right now. Take that chunk, transcribe it, fix it up, clean it up, because those transcription things will have errors. Fix it up, make that a blog post. Go to Substack, make that your blog post, put a good title on it, maybe put an image in there. And then with that, that will send email out. You can send it out as your newsletter automatically from Substack. So you have hit blog post and newsletter and video, okay, all at once. You could even take this, which I have done. If you go to New Media Lab and you look that up as a podcast, I've taken a few of the episodes, stripped the video off, just put it on, added music to the front, posted it as an episode. Okay. So now I've got off of this one show, I have blog content, both video and transcript. It goes out to the newsletter as well. And I can even adjust that if you want to add a little advertising or add a little something to your blog. You instantly have, or your newsletter, you instantly have different content at your newsletter based on this. Okay. So very little work comparatively. I have an audio podcast, so people that listen to audio podcasts, they have that. They also have this, that if they do video, if they're in the UK, overseas, the number one platform for podcasts is actually YouTube. And they don't even watch the video. Like you post the video and you also can post a version that has no video or just leave it and let it be the video. But they use this when they're driving. You know how we'll put on like Spotify or whatever. They use YouTube. And they can't watch the video, but they can listen, right? It's the number one platform for that. It's really wild. Okay. So what do you talk about? This is going to depend on you. This is going to depend on your business. Okay. I suggest looking at a few different ways to approach it. Number one, don't worry about the length. You can decide on a length. You can sit there and go, okay, I want these to be, I'm not great on a mic and I'm nervous about it. I want to do maybe 10-minute shows. Fine. You could take my idea, the thing where I do, let me see if I can show you one. Let me see if I can show you one. Because this would absolutely work. Let's see. Let's present this. I'll show you guys this while I'm doing my search. Here's another one that I'm basically running at this point. So playlists. Here are some great examples of things you could do on your YouTube channel. Okay. You can make an interview show. Anyone who's been on it knows it's not necessarily 3 questions. Okay. It might be 7 questions. It might be 2 questions. It depends. But we call it 3 questions. And I have you on and I ask just 3 random questions. And you know what? That could be just your YouTube show. You have an intro, you have that main video that says, "Hi, I'm Amanda Fasciano. I'm an author. Here, my books are these." And I'm going to introduce you to a bunch of authors that I've met. And I ask them 3 questions. Done. Want to see how long these videos are? Can you see that? 6 minutes, 22 seconds. This one that we're looking at doesn't have any video attached to it. Okay. But I don't know if these have video. Let's see. Oh, I did these without video. Okay. But these might have video. Nope. I did these without video. Uh, but that's 3 questions featuring another author from Four Horsemen. Not all of these things that I'm creating are Four Horsemen either, but you could do 3 questions, 5 questions, make them random. You could also do just something where you interview somebody. Here's an interview. Okay. I'm showing you all of them that don't have actual video attached. Let's see if I have a video one. Here's a video one. There we go. Now, this was one I didn't create this. This was Jesse interviewing uh, um, CK Westbrook a while ago, and he didn't make an image for it or anything. It just goes on, but it's got this that works. Okay, but there's a video interview. Now, this one is 46 minutes long. That might be intimidating to you. Jesse is a professional podcaster, so he knows how to keep that thing going. In the beginning, if you're like, oh God, I can't, write down maybe 5 questions, pick 3 of them, and interview somebody. You can take those 3 questions, you can transcribe them, you can throw them in your blog, you can then take it to your newsletter. You can make a reel out of it. Does this one have the shorts? I don't know if I have the shorts on here. Here we go, shorts. And you can make shorts out of these. Okay? There's all sorts of things you can do with it. Creating this, done in Canva. Took me nothing to make that. This, done in Canva. Took me nothing to make that. It would take you, once you try it, takes you a minute. And then it goes into a show. Right? That's it. Done in Canva. Pretty easy. Let's close that out. So what do you talk about? Well, I would start by doing something maybe like that. Maybe doing 3 questions and just have you don't need playlists, just have those videos on there. You could then you could do a live thing. And for your live thing, you could do think about it. You've got a new release. Have a new release party. Film it. Take questions from people or just talk about your book for a while. And just answer comments. It's content. It can go on your YouTube channel. Sarah Cito had a really good one that she did. She did it on Twitch. I really enjoyed this. She went live on Twitch, and you could take this and put it on here, no question. She did a like a writer under glass type thing, where it was almost like writer improv. She had only the screen; her computer screen was up, right? And in fact, I'm going to do it now. What she did looked like just a regular old click it computer screen, like an old school computer screen. But let's see, present. We're going to switch it. We're going to switch it. We're going to switch it. And I'll show you what she did. Okay, there we go. She did this. Okay, give me a location, and somebody would say like castle in Schaumburg. Okay, and I what should we do? And they'd say romance. Okay, it was a stormy night. Oh, you're seeing how my fingers don't work. In Schaumburg, love was in the air. There we go. So this is what she did. Much better than I just did. But she took prompts and she just wrote. And it was highly interesting. So there's something else you could do. You could literally do something like that, or you could do book reviews. What are you reading? What are you playing? It can be anything, just some content on there, something that shows you, that allows you the permission then to talk about your book, to talk about what you do. You're really trying to use YouTube to get people interested in you and what you do. Now, you also then, like I said, if you put a little strategy behind it, you can think, what type of content will translate to my blog, to my newsletter, and I can use it that way. Does it mean everything on here has to do that? No. No. If you do what I just showed you, that prompt thing, this thing, you're not going to make that into a blog and put it over there. What you could do with this is write for a while on it. so people can watch you afterwards, do it like flash fiction, and then finish it out, and then put it on your Patreon and put it behind a paywall. Hey, if you want to read the finished product, the finished short story based on your suggestions, go to my Patreon. You can subscribe for $3 a month. And I put these on there, and I do some exclusive videos on there too. Might actually bring in a few bucks for you. Okay, let's see. As an author, would you recommend talking about my book's life, read a chapter? Short answer is yes. Depends on what you want to do. Yes, you want them to know you. Would I make it just about that? No, don't make it an ad. Nobody's going to hang out for an ad. But think about it. So Stephen King has a YouTube channel, let's say. And you subscribe to his YouTube channel. And he says, okay, he's got a playlist where he reads a chapter of his book. Now, he doesn't read the whole book. He just reads a chapter. He sits there like fireside chat, reads the first chapter of his books. And that's it. You would watch it. I would watch it. I would love to see Stephen King reading this thing. And guess what? I now have to buy that book. He didn't say, buy my book. He just like, okay, today we are reading from Insomnia. This is the first chapter. And then he just reads it. Hell yeah. Watching him read the first chapter of Insomnia works. I would be all over it. Now, he could also then have a travel log. I mean, you guys go to conventions or go to bookstores, a little travel log about that. Tell you what, I'm actually now thinking on Writer's Row, we might add a travel log and have like the restaurants that we try when we travel. Because we always talk about food. Always talk about food. All right. We're here in Louisville for Louisville PopCon, and we found Nick and Norman's. It's this restaurant. They have, steak and seafood and blah, 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 blah. And it's owned by Greg Nicotero and Norman Reedus. So it's kind of horror themed. It's cool. We're going there as a bunch of authors, and we're going to review the food. Then afterwards, quick little review of the food. Or film some of the conversation there. Do your 3 questions there at Nick and Norman's. Boom, you've got great, great, great content. You don't have to become a broadcaster either. You just have to figure out some things that you could do. And if you can't think of them, contact me, because I have more ideas that I'll never get to than you could imagine. It's crazy. I have ideas for content. I don't want to write a book of the ideas of content, because then it's going to kill all my ideas. But you just saw, like, I will help you create some ideas that would be really cool, that would be unique to you. So feel free to reach out. Yeah, you want to go to Nick and Norman's? Nick and Norman's is awesome, and they're super, super nice people. They call it the Bloody Nick because it's got a bar. So it's a drink that they created in honor of Greg Nicotero. It's his restaurant. I mean, he's there sometimes, but they created one where it's a Bloody Mary, but instead of like celery in that, they put a lychee nut inside. And the reason is it was something they stumbled on. They showed it to me. It's crazy. It's a Bloody Mary. And then the lychee nut, you get a nice, decent sized one. After it soaks in the Bloody Mary for a bit, it starts to look veiny and like a bloody eyeball. It's gross. And then they said that it's like the number 1 drink. Everybody wants it because number 1, it looks gross, but number 2, they're like, oh my God, the lychee nut in it tastes amazing. Like, put 10 lychee nuts in there. It's great. So the Bloody Nick. There you go. Free advertising for Nick and Norman's. I love that place. And they are just the nicest people. Okay. So what do you put? It really sky's the limit. And I would say the same thing that I say to everybody getting involved in podcasting or broadcasting or writing or art. Just try. it might really suck in the beginning. You might be like, "Oh god, I shouldn't be doing this," but keep doing it because eventually your audience is going to connect with it and they're going to like what you're doing. Just be honest. If you make it an ad, so there was somebody I was working with who everything that this person wanted came down to being an ad. They had 2 books out, and every newsletter, every blog post, every interview that they wanted, they were like, "I'm gonna start a podcast." Great. Everything was, "Buy my 2 books." Well, I think I should, I'm gonna do 3 questions, but I wanna make sure that at the end of it, even though I'm interviewing Amanda about her stuff, I'm doing 3 questions with her. I want the last, like, half of it to be, maybe I'll read part of my book. What? Make it about Amanda. Make it about Amanda. Because they're becoming aware of you. And when they become aware of you, they're going to look your stuff up, or you'll have other content on your channel that shows, here's the book I wrote. Let it be about the other person. Don't make everything an ad. But yeah, having a YouTube channel, I don't know why you wouldn't, but you can break form. It doesn't have to just be about your books. If you're, you can review stuff, you can just talk about stuff. I love the 3 questions thing. I've been doing that. I did that with our podcasters. I've moved on. I'm doing it with the writers. Uh, it's fantastic because it's simple. It's bite-sized. It can be chopped up into other things or not. Don't call it 3 questions. That's mine. No, you can call it 3 questions. I don't own that. And it doesn't have to be like I'm talking to you, Amanda, because you're here, right? I'm talking about like books and that. But it doesn't have to be. Right? Oh, see? And even Amanda said it was fun when we did it. See, it is. It's fun. Uh, let's say I bring this up because of Bruce that's been on here a lot. He's got a car detailing business. What are 3 questions you could ask people? So I'm Bruce. I'm building a social media thing, but I'm basing it on me because he's got a great personality. He's a lot of fun. Don't let him hear I said that. And in his social media, he shows himself, which he should. Then he does 3 questions. I would pick 3, 1 car related, 2 goofy questions, or 2 car related, 1 goofy question. And ask people when you detail their car, people that are like fun, go like, "Hey, I have a YouTube show where I interview people that I've done the detailing for, not about my detailing work or anything. I just interview them and I ask a couple of goofy questions. Want to be on?" He's going to get a fair amount that are going to go, "Yeah, sure, let's do it." You hold up your phone, you do the reverse thing. This becomes your YouTube show. So it doesn't look pretty like this. Maybe it does. Maybe you turn your phone sideways and you film it like this and you say, "Okay, hi, this is Bruce with such and such car detailing. Just finished a car. I got 3 questions for the people that owned it. They agreed to be on. All right, guys, you ready? 3 questions. First one, what is your favorite tire cleaner?" And they're going to go, "What? I don't know. Soap and water." Okay, I use Macaulay. Okay, second question. What's the best restaurant in town? Oh, this Mexican place. Well, what do you get there? Blah, blah, blah. You heard it. Go there. Okay, last question. Right? Boom, boom, boom. Goofy question. Maybe they do ask something about car detailing. Have you ever do you wash your car yourself? What products do you use? Oh, I never thought about it. But yeah, every summer I wash our car a couple of times and I use Armor All on the inside. And I like to use Rain-X on the outside and then for the washing, I don't know. Okay, it's an answer. It's now something that he can use, right? In that case, he also starts to get information for sponsors. If everybody says Armor All, he doesn't use Armor All, by the way, but let's say he gets Armor All. He can then go to Armor All and say, hey, on my show, when I ask people what they use, they all say Armor All. Would you like to buy an ad on my newsletter that I send this out on, or be a sponsor of the show? Who knows? Maybe you'll pick up $50 a month. I would rather pick up $50 a month than pick up nothing a month. You don't have to think that far in advance either. You don't have to start thinking about that stuff in the beginning. Just think about, what can I do, and not worry about it. What I just said, that's a crude, quick, boom, kind of fun. And if it fails, it fails. Have you ever been in, here's another thing you could absolutely do, and I don't care what your business is, especially if you go to shows, like if you're an author and you do conventions or bookstores, if you're anything where you would be where there are people that are interested in your subject or what you do, or even like in Bruce's case, maybe they don't want to do 3 questions, but have you ever been to, what's the name of that cookie place? Cookies. Schaumburg. Crumble. So if you've ever been in a Crumble, they do a really good job with something. They have a screen up in the shop. Amanda, are you just saying it, or are you asking if that's what it's called? It's called Crumble, just like that, without the E. In their shop, they've done integrated marketing, and they've tied in their social media. So you walk in, everything's branded. You walk in and everybody says, hi. Okay, that's all branding. That's all marketing. But on the wall, okay, they have a screen, a video monitor turned on its side, so it's vertical rather than horizontal. You answered me. Yes, Amanda. Crumble. And they just have video loop of people from their, I don't know if it's Snapchat or Instagram, but it's people that, what they did was they did a thing like, hey, try our cookies and tag us in the video. So it's people sitting in their car with a cookie and they're biting it. And they're like, oh my God, today we tried this one. It's so amazing. And the next one, like, okay, I get these and we got a 6-pack and they're not going to make it home. But they show their cookie. They're proud of it, whatever. That could be your YouTube channel. It could literally be people walking by a booth in costume. You hand them your book and you're like, hey, can I get a quick thing? And you go, what's your favorite genre? And they're holding your book and they're like, I love ghost stories. Okay, that's going to get boring if that's the only question. But ask them one question. Have them hold the book up and say, what con are we at? And they go like, woo, I'm at Louisville PopCon. Great. You go into Crumble and they've got that up of just people biting into their cookie, talking about their cookie. There's a podcast my friend has called The Gaming Outsider. And now they don't do it with video, but they absolutely could. Let me see if I have an example. Yep, I can do it with a DVD. So they do a thing on their social media, and they could absolutely do this, and you could do it with your books, right? Or your artwork or whatever it is, where when somebody gets a game that they wanted, or in this case, I've got a Blu-ray, they will take a picture of them like this. They're biting into that delicious, delicious game. That could be your video. People just doing that over and over. They're going to do it different ways. They're going to do different things. Guess what? Video content. It's great on your social media. It's short. Now, those are short ones. Those are things you use as reels. But now, your YouTube channel, what if it was just shorts? That's fine. There are no actual rules. What if you start with that, use those reels, throw them on Facebook, throw them on Instagram, okay? Throw them on Threads, throw them on your YouTube channel. One piece of content, spread all these different places. But then on your YouTube channel, you now advance and do the 3 questions. Anybody that's done a short interview with me recently, I'm doing these, I wouldn't call them interviews, but I guess they are, where I'm having each of the authors talk about their new release. Hi, tell me who you are, blah, blah, blah. What's the name of your book? Blah, 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 blah. Tell us about it, blah, blah, blah. What are the main characters? Great. And here's where you can get it or win. That's it, right? Those are taking 5 to 10 minutes each. And then when I record those, I say, book out 15 minutes with me. We record that, and then we record 3 questions with them. And the 3 questions are goofy. What's your favorite food? Well, it's an author. They're not, I don't care. Tell me. What's the best thing you've ever eaten? What's your favorite destination you've ever been to? What is the greatest horror movie? Well, I don't write horror. I don't care. What's your favorite horror movie? Oh, God, I hate horror movies. I bet you like one. Well, I did like Silence of the Lambs. That's a horror movie. Why are you telling me you don't like horror movies? You could throw it all on TikTok too. Yeah, there you go, Amanda. See? Now you're thinking. People wonder, like, what do I do on TikTok? Same content. Maybe on YouTube, it's a little longer or it's slightly different. Something a little different. Give them a reason to go each place. Maybe 3 questions lives on your YouTube channel and everything else gets shared everywhere else. And occasionally you put something up where it's like, hey, if you like these, I actually interview people on my YouTube channel. They get 3 questions I got to answer. Check it out. Subscribe on my YouTube channel. Here it is. Guess what? I don't care where it is. I go to each of their things. I think I'm pretty normal. I will go to their multiple things if there's something different. If everything is exactly the same on YouTube as it is on TikTok, as it is on Instagram Reels, I'm going to pick the one that I like the best and just kind of stay there. If there is one thing different, oh, they do the 3 questions on YouTube, and on TikTok, they show this, but then they also do a book review or they do a movie review. I mentioned this the other night. I was talking about content you can use on in newsletters, and I brought up Daniel Kraus, the horror writer. I love his newsletter. It's called The Last Kraus on the Left. It's always good. And one of the things he does is he will put down, he'll watch like weird, obscure horror movies, and he will do a review or just a list of the movies he's been watching. But usually he'll put like a review of some obscure horror movie. And it's simple. It's, 300 words. If you were in college and had to do it online, that's one participation question, right? Easy. Might seem hard in the beginning. You'll get very good at it very quickly. That's like writing 2 tweets. Okay. And he's a horror writer. He's not writing movie reviews, but he does this on his newsletter. If you go to his Instagram, it doesn't have that. It has behind the scenes pictures. It has little video things. Go to his YouTube channel. That's different. And he should steal my idea of reading. He's got a lot of books. Read the first chapter of your book or make it a series. Read 2 pages at a time. Come back tomorrow for the next 2 pages. That's easy. Freight meter rewards are starting back up and Zim back on the committee. I don't know what any of that is, but guess who is looking up freight meter? Oh my gosh. Looks like I'm going to have to contact Freight Meter because I interview so many. Oh, I'm not Zim. Although from here on out, Amanda, I'm now calling you Zim. I interview so many horror authors. I'm going to have to connect them if they're not connected to the Freight Meter Awards. That's awesome. Awesome. Right there. Right there. I don't care what your subject is. I mean, maybe Bruce, it wouldn't work so much unless he's got a real interest in horror books. But that's something you could have. Have that other thing I was talking about where he's talking to people about their stuff. Maybe do an instructional video where you talk about, that adds authority actually. So you should absolutely do that. Do short videos like for him, cleaning a seat. Here's the right way to clean a seat. Use the brush, do the thing. This is the correct way to do this. He'll get tons of hits. For you as a writer, people ask me all the time, how do I write action in a love story? Well, here's some techniques you can use. Blah, blah, blah. Short little 1 to 5 minute video. That's it, right? But then the other thing is you're talking about Fright Meter. Now, this is an award show. It's going to list who's on it. Reach out to everybody on the Fright Meter Awards, especially if you have submitted, and say, hey, do you want to be on an interview show with me? We'll roundtable. We'll talk about it. Maybe I'll ask you 3 questions, whatever it is. You'll have a whole year's worth of content just off Fright Meter Awards. I did this with books of horror. We wanted to do something together. We couldn't quite find it. And I said, how about if I just interview some of the authors that are going to be featured there? And you can use that then to promote your event. They loved it, right? They said they put it out to their people. What did I do? 20 interviews or something of different horror authors. And the ones that didn't do it when I went to the event were shamed because they're like, oh no, I never contacted you. And these have been so cool. Great. So I got all those little interviews, right? They were like 40-minute interviews, but it was a blast. So Amanda, if you're going to submit to Fright Meter, take people that are nominated or people that are whatever, reach out to them. Hey, can you be on my show? Now you can have that on your show. And if it was, like I said, Bruce with his thing, if he liked horror books, he's got his instructional, he's got his goofy 3 questions, and then the third playlist, and that's really all you need. Because if you have 3 playlists, you're rocking the house, right? Is I'm a horror fan. This might not be right for you on this channel, but I'm putting it on here because I am. I asked 3 questions of horror authors that were nominated for Fright Meter Awards. Interview 30 people. Boom. Okay, so Amanda, you said, no, I'm not submitting. Fine. Make friends with them. Just contact Fright Meter and say, or contact the authors and say, hey, you were nominated for Fright Meter Award. I'd love to have you on. Maybe you do a full interview. Maybe you just do 3 questions. Maybe you do what I did, where a short interview, and then, hey, can you do I've got a second thing that I'm going to use for my newsletter where it's 3 questions. Yeah, sure. And then you make them goofy. They're fun. Oh, Fright Meter is for horror movies. Oh, now I'm in again. You're one of the judges. Well, Amanda, hook me up. I'll help you guys promote the Fright Meter, and I'll interview anybody. We actually have a side project. So I talk about this a lot because we start side projects for stuff all the time. We have one called Shortheads where we interview filmmakers. There's a whole category of horror filmmakers, especially short films and that totally are looking for some type of exposure. That's what Shortheads does. So yeah, you hook me up and we'll either do just short things and see for you at Fright Meter, you now have content because I give you that content. It's not I'm piggybacking off of you or anything. I mean, yeah, I'm making connections, which is good. That's what you can do as well. And Amanda, you could certainly do that since you're part of it. But for you, my thing is always for you. I interviewed the Books of Horror people and I gave them the interviews. I said, chop them up, do whatever you want with them. Use my links would be great, but if not, that's okay. You have the video. Use it. Use it if you make a Facebook event. Use it in your marketing if you want. 2 reasons. 1, it drives people to my YouTube channel. It drives people to my podcast. It drives people to my stuff because they're seeing me and they're building me into an authority position. Number 2, and it might make you connections, right? They see you doing all this and they're like, wait, she's involved in this with all these film people. What's her property like? Oh, suddenly there's interest, right? But I do it so that you can promote. Look at my shows. When we burned Southgate Media Group I always say we burned it to the ground. We didn't. It's still there, and my podcasts are still there. They just don't have to answer to me, right? But now in 2.0, the only shows we're creating have a very certain particular type of bent to them. And what we're doing is yeah, we could talk later, Amanda. That sounds great. Um all the shows we do now have to be related to giving back to the creator. So uh the creative person. So Molly does read between the lines. She interviews authors about their upcoming books and about writing. And then we tell them, use this in your social media. If they said, well, we want to be able to make some TikTok videos off of it, okay, we'll give you the footage. Okay. There are other people that do that and they try to charge you. We don't charge you because we figure it's goodwill both ways. And it is. We do that. They recommend people to us. Our thing keeps growing. People know who we are. When I was at an event recently, uh, and I was being treated like I was like horror author royalty. Like I don't even write. But because of what I did, there was that reaction to me of you're part of our group. You're one of us. You're in. And when I was at this thing, because I had done all that, I had so many people, including people that were in publishing, saying, "Well, when are you going to write one? You should be a writer. You should be writing. Submit it to us. We're very interested." And I'm like, I haven't put pen to paper on any of this, and I'm VP of marketing for a publisher. Well, I don't care because of those connections, because of the content I'm creating. It's interesting. I bet if you were to take all the different things that I've done, the perception of me would be he's all involved in Marvel. He's all involved in Star Wars. He's all involved in writing. He's all involved in tabletop games. It's because I take the time to interview people. I get to know them. I share their stuff. I build their brands for them. That's what our network is about. That's what you can use your YouTube for. It's building your brand through connections and that. Boy, I hope I gave you guys a lot of ideas here. I really do. We're going to end. It's after 9. So guys, thank you so much. Amanda, thank you for being my silent guest. I should have had you on. We could have talked all about it. I didn't know we were going to talk all YouTube today. If you guys want to reach out to me, you can. Uh, you can email me, rob at smgpods.com. You can connect with me on Facebook. I mean, really anywhere. Just look up Southgate Media Group. Look up Rob Southgate. Look up any of our shows. Even just right in here in the comments, which I love to get comments. That'd be great. You people watching it, put some comments on. And you can write to me. And if you're somebody who wants to do, like in this case, if you said, hey, I do want some help developing or coming up with the ideas, I do consulting as well. And you can get a free consultation with me. I can give you the link to schedule a time. And it's a half hour. And I pour it out, man. I pour out the ideas. And then if it turns out that you're like, yeah, we have to go further with this, I want more, then we can talk about what my fees are and how consultation works. But I don't treat it as a timeshare. I treat it as you've got questions. Let's answer some questions and move on. Okay, there we go. Amanda, thank you so much. And everybody that joined. I don't know who else was here. I see 4. So if you're here, quick before I close, say hi. Let's see who says hi. My mom, she'll never say hi. She's a lurker. All right. I'm going to close it. I don't see anybody saying it. Be brave, be bold. Oh, it's Serena. Hi, Serena. Oh, man, I could have talked all YouTube with you, too. Lots of ideas for you. All right, you guys. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful weekend. Next Saturday, if all the stars align, if everything works, which I imagine it will, pour over. I am doing a pour over next week. It is pour over international. We're going to be broadcasting from Paris. So that's going to be fun. I'm sure I'll be lit up with marketing ideas after walking around Paris. All right, guys, have a great weekend.